How you doing, love? Sorry if it was a bit of a shock today. I don't notice it anymore, but I know it can be strange if you aren't used to it. This is how I grew up, and I'm glad you got to get a taste of it. Finally.
No, babe, it's okay. I'm fine. It was fun, actually. I've only ever seen or heard about the British aristocratic families on TV or in movies. It was such a cool experience to see what you guys are all like when you are gathered together for a very formal dinner. I was so nervous at first, but I think I loosened up a little bit towards the end. Of course, what with your family being a direct descendant of a baron, I already expected your parents to be super strict.
I don't know. I think it could have been better. It was a formal dinner, but it was also a chance to properly introduce you to my family, and for you to get to know them. Everyone was so bloody stiff, weren't they? I could count the smiles on one hand.
It's fine, really. As much as all of this is new to me, I'm sure your side of the family needs time to adjust to me, too. What did your mother say? Did she say anything to you after the dinner?
She didn't say much. Don't worry about it, love.
If she said something to you, especially about me, I want to know. I'll be okay. I can handle it.
I mean, of course my mum went on about our royal bloodline and all that bollocks. And that's what she always says, to anyone who would listen. There's nothing you need to worry yourself about. I love you, and I chose you. What is she going to do about it? In it. All I need to do is remind her that I have the final say in who I marry. Of course, I will have to sugarcoat it somehow, but that shouldn't be too hard.
Do you really think you and I will be allowed to get married? I kept imagining someone to start yelling at me for butting in where I don't belong. Maybe nobody thought it was worth making a scene like that at a dinner, but who knows if they will think the same thing at the wedding. The pastor is even going to say, "If anyone objects, speak now or forever hold your tongue." If anyone actually takes that opportunity, I feel like it's going to be at our wedding.
No, darling, don't be daft. That's never going to happen. I will not allow it. If anyone has anything to say about you and me, they will have to go through me first. I'm telling you, I've got this. Don't you worry your pretty little self.
Okay, you're right. I can't do much else but worry if I keep thinking about it. So I might as well just stop.
You must be exhausted from being so nervous and on guard. Why don't you go on and get to bed now? It's already late.
Okay, I think I will. Not before I take a nice hot bath, though. You get to bed too, babe. I know you have an early morning tomorrow.
Sleep tight, my love. I will call you tomorrow morning. Good night. I love you.
I love you too.
Hey, sweetie. You went to go meet Richard's parents today, didn't you? How did it go? What are they like? Are they super proper, like you imagined? Are they posh? I thought you would have called me about it by now. But I didn't get a single message from you. I got worried, so I texted. Sorry if your phone is buzzing like crazy at dinner still. Oops.
No, Mom, it's fine. I was so nervous. I was drawing a bath so I can defrost my muscles before going to bed. I've been tense all day. I don't think I blinked more than 3 times during the whole dinner.
Oh no. What are you so nervous about? They are still people, just like you and me. So, what are they like?
You know, basically everything we pictured. Super proper, not a single hunched back. Their accent was so British that I felt like I was being read a nature documentary. It was so cool, but definitely intimidating. They're all super proud, almost to the point where they came off a little arrogant even. But they have every right to be proud, what with them having a baron for an ancestor. Richard did always say things to me like, "I can't help it. I come from a very long line of noble men." Always with the "I can't help it." And he did warn me that his mother has always been very strict. So I can't say I wasn't fully warned. I went into it knowing full well I will not be welcomed into the family with open arms and Hawaiian leis.
And why not? They should be so lucky to have a great American gal like you be their daughter-in-law. They could probably use an upbeat, youthful, positive spirit like you. I knew I should have pushed you more to break up with Richard already. I totally thought you two would just eventually fizzle out or something. If only I had known you guys would end up getting engaged to be married. Are you sure, baby? Are you 100% sure that Richard is the man you want to spend the rest of your life with? Richard Baron, His Majesty the 15th? Father of dragons?
Mom, stop! I love him. You know that. I'm not going to just marry some random dude. I'm going to marry the love of my life. Don't you think I would have thought about it for a minute before saying yes to his proposal?
I guess you're right. You do have a point there, honey. But still, I am your mom. I worry about you. Because I really don't see you having a great time being a part of that family. I don't see it being breezy or fun or comfortable. At all. They are going to suffocate you with their stuck-up, old-fashioned, British, weirdo, traditional way of life. I guess I just don't like the idea of you voluntarily going into a lifelong contract without really knowing what it has waiting for you.
Mom, I understand you are worried. I really do. But you don't know Richard that well, and you haven't met his parents like I have. They are strict and frigid, but I could tell they are warm and soft when they have good reasons to be. Like you said, they are still human just like us. I'm sure you will agree with me once you get to meet them for yourself.
Am I a bad mother if I tell you I am kind of dreading it? Because I am. They sound like intimidating people. And if I know anything about myself, I know I am going to make a huge fool out of myself by talking too much or freezing up entirely. Or, as they probably say, make a huge arse out of meself in it.
Mom! He really does sound like that, doesn't he?
Okay, well, I won't say anything else on the matter. I'm pretty confident I raised a girl who knows what she wants. Just be safe for me, baby. Okay? Don't get hurt.
Okay, Mama. I'll be fine. I think Richard's parents mentioned something about inviting you over for dinner sometime next month. I will talk to Richard about it and get back to you with a more definitive date.
That sounds great, baby. Now go to bed, milady. It's way past your bedtime.
Yes, Mom. Good night.
Brittany.
Hey, Mom.
I have a super-duper serious question for you. Do you really have to go through with this wedding? Like, are you 1000% absolutely positively sure about this?
Why? Did you feel a little uncomfortable today?
No, not a little. I thought I was in a police interrogation room in a bad action movie. Those people, they ambushed you with all those relatives they brought in. Asking you and me question after question like we are applicants for a prestigious job. What do they think we are? Some wannabes? The whole time, all I could think was, oh God, I hope Brittany doesn't want to go through with this wedding. Oh God, these are the people my daughter will have to call her family now? That's what I was thinking the whole time. I don't remember anything that I ate or drank. I was so preoccupied.
Aw, Mom. I thought it actually went pretty well today. Compared to the other dinner I had. That was pretty scary. I don't know how people can eat so fast, but also talk all they want without any food in their mouth.
Remember what I said about how hard it will be for you if you went ahead with this marriage? You are signing yourself up to be a forever trainee, but without ever becoming one of them. A marriage is not something you should consider lightly. It's different from dating.
No, Mom, I'm telling you. I've thought about this long and hard. Trust me. Give me some credit. I am a big girl. Besides, it's not like I will have to live with all of Richard's extended family or anything. What matters is Richard and I are together. And we are happy.
I must say, Richard does seem like a stand-up guy. He is such a gentleman. It's so sad that we don't see too many of those in America these days.
Right? He is the most chivalrous man I've ever met. And it's not just pretenses either. He is actually so considerate. That's why I am marrying him, Mom.
I understand. I'm just looking out for you, sweetheart. Now, you promise me that if they ever treat you with any less than with the utmost respect that you well deserve, you get the hell out of there. Can you promise me that?
Okay, Mom. I promise. I will not let them treat me like I am beneath them. That's what you were worried about, right? Mom, you must be so tired. You made a long trip to get here today. You should get some sleep.
I am pretty worn out, actually. It had been a while since I sat on a train for so long. I better get to bed before I cramp up tomorrow.
Okay, Mama. Thank you for coming today. It meant a lot to me. And to Richard. I will call you again soon. Love you. Good night, Mom.
Brittany, darling, where have you run off to this time? I can never seem to catch you when you're home where you belong. Are you out shopping? Getting coffee? When will you be coming back? I would love a cuppa while I'm here.
Hi, Mrs. Barron. It's Brittany. Yes, I am at work right now. Oh no, are you at my house? I didn't know you were visiting today. I'm so sorry.
Nonsense. A mother doesn't need to give notice to visit her own son's house. And what is this work business you are talking about? You are still working. Doing what? Your duties are to your husband and your home. Have you forgotten everything I told you when we first met? I believe I was very clear about what I wanted in a daughter-in-law, if she ever wants to be worthy of being a part of our very, very prestigious family. Have you forgotten, or have you chosen to disregard my wishes?
Mrs. Barron, I'm sorry if you didn't like the fact that I had a job. But you knew about it from the beginning. And I've had a job the whole time I was dating Richard.
Did I or did I not tell you to quit your job, darling? What job could possibly be more important than your wifely duties that you would forsake your home and husband? I will not let you drag our good Barron name through the mud by pretending to be someone you shouldn't be. You are a member of the Barron family now, and as such, you must uphold your responsibilities like the rest of us. The Barron title is not to be claimed lightly.
Mrs. Barron, I understand. I am taking care of everything at home, too. You don't need to worry about that. But it's hard for us to live comfortably on Richard's salary alone. So I am going to have to keep my job for a while.
How dare you! I have never! Richard is working day and night to provide for you, as he should. How dare you belittle him with his salary like that? He easily makes $2,500 a month. How is that not enough for you? Are you dining on gold and diamonds? No wonder you still don't have a baby on the way after 3 years of marriage. You are never at home.
Not that it's any of your business. Richard and I talked about it and we both decided we want to wait to have kids. We are still enjoying just being together, so we aren't going to rush into anything. Besides, just because we want to have kids doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Don't worry. I promise you will be the first one to know if and when I do get pregnant, Mrs. Barron.
This is why I was against you two getting married. I knew you would come in here, staring us up with your American mentality, disregarding our traditions and ideologies. You want to be a baron, but you refuse to act like one. That is not right, is it? I should have insisted harder. If only it weren't for Richard's smooth talking. I would have never allowed a nobody like you to come into this family.
Why do you think I am a nobody? How did you figure that? Just because I'm American and I don't know who my ancestors were doesn't make me a nobody, Mrs. Barron. Who knows? Maybe I have a famous general or something in my family tree. Or an oil tycoon.
That is a smashing theory. No matter. I was just coming to tell you about the dinner next weekend. I can do without the cuppa. I presume you haven't forgotten about the dinner. I've already sent you the menu.
No, Mrs. Barron. I have it down on my calendar. I haven't forgotten.
We have lots to prepare, so make sure you get there before dawn. Us barons do not look kindly on tardiness.
Yes, Mrs. Baron. I will be there before sunrise. I promise.
And hurry up and quit your little job. It is unnecessary, and it is an insult to all the baron wives before you. I will not tolerate it for much longer. My son needs an obedient wife.
Soon, Mrs. Baron.
I would absolutely love it to not have to spell everything out for you. It's been 3 years, for God's sake.
Hey, babe. Did you know your mom was going to come visit today? I wish you had told me that. I was blindsided.
Oh, sorry, darling. It must have slipped my mind. I am very busy at work these days. Positively swamped. She just wanted to see how we were doing, so I told her she could let herself in since she has the spare key. All good, innit?
No, babe. She might be your mom, so you're okay with her coming and going as she pleases. But I need some boundaries, especially when it comes to her coming to our house unannounced. I don't like that. What if I had dirty laundry strewn about? Can you understand that?
Darling, it has been 3 years. I thought she must have gotten used to unannounced visits by now. You know she doesn't come because she wants to poke fun at us or anything. She just misses me. That's all, love.
Why do I have to be the one to always get used to your ways? Why can't you at least meet me halfway? It's not like I am saying your mom should never visit us. I just would have preferred a text or something to let me know. Like a normal person. Do you even know what your mom said to me today? She told me to quit my job so I can be a better wife. Essentially, that's what she said. What do you think about that?
She did. That can't have been pleasant. I'm sorry, love. What can you do? She is too set in her own ways. Let her say what she wants. In one ear, out the other.
I hate the things I have to get used to. Anyway, your mom also reminded me about the dinner next weekend. You didn't forget, did you? We have to get there before sunrise to help prepare for it.
I have already requested the Friday off. It will be another successful dinner if you are helping with it. My talented chef wife.
It's going to be another weekend full of chores. Maybe this time you don't just sit around drinking brandy and come help for once?
I know, love. I would love to help you. Absolutely. But you know how it is. My mum is very particular about who comes into her kitchen. Men are not allowed to come into my mum's kitchen. She will go mental. If I dare to set foot in the kitchen, that will only make my mum take it out on you. We don't want that, do we?
Yeah. How convenient for you. Then how come you refuse to set foot in your own kitchen, too? I don't bite your head off. Why don't you offer to help at home?
I wish I could, love. But I'm just so tired after a long day at work. Surely you can understand that, eh?
Oh, just forget it. Who am I kidding? This is going nowhere. Just tell your mom to either come with a bit of a notice or have her give back the spare key. Okay?
All right. I will have a chat with her. Hey, Brett. Are you still up? You had another one of those barren family dinners today, didn't you? My poor baby. How did it go? I bet you're exhausted.
Mom! I was just thinking about calling you, but I thought maybe you were already asleep. What are you doing up?
I was watching this new comedy show on Netflix. It's so funny I couldn't stop. I didn't even realize it was so late. And then I noticed that it was the last weekend of the month, so I figured you would be knees deep in the Baron's dinner aftermath by now. How did it go this time? Are you still standing? My little trooper.
I am exhausted. I could pass out any moment. Tonight I helped make some French dish where I had to peel about 700 potatoes and slice them into paper-thin sheets. I don't think I will be eating any potatoes for a while. Just the thought of it makes me gag. Ugh.
Wow. The French and their potatoes. Did Richard just sit around drinking scotch again while you were busting your butt in the kitchen?
Yeah. Apparently, barren men are not allowed to set foot in the kitchen. And if he tries, It will make his mom mad and take out her anger at me. So I stopped arguing about it altogether. Nothing has changed on his end since the wedding.
That Richard. He acted like there was nothing in the world he wouldn't do for you. But I guess even you weren't above his precious family. I wish you had reconsidered. I hate that you are being worked to the bone for those unnecessary dinners. And for what? So people can criticize how much you messed up their 1,000-year-old recipe?
I know! It's so stupid and pointless. It's not like they have super important politics to discuss at dinner either. All they do is talk about TV shows and celebrities. By the way, I've actually noticed something odd with the Barons.
What is it? What odd thing?
Well, you know how they pride themselves as being a direct descendant from a Baron? And that's why their last name is Baron and all that. But now that I am slowly getting used to the British culture, and accent especially, I'm realizing that they don't really act all that proper. I guess their accent made it sound like they were being proper, but they really aren't. They're actually very crude and slangy and straight up vulgar sometimes. I am starting to think they are either super out of touch with their nobility or just plain pretending.
Pretending? Pretending to be what? Posh?
A little bit, yeah. People say class isn't something you can buy with money. The Barons aren't ultra rich or anything, but I thought they were proud people continuing on with their lineage with what they have. But it's like, I still expected them to be classy, you know? If they were really Barons. I don't know if that made sense. I'm too tired to be articulate right now. I don't know. It just feels like the Barons can't be noble. It's just a gut feeling.
A woman's intuition is usually never wrong, Britt. You might be onto something here. Should you look into it, do you think?
I did, a little bit. Apparently, you can actually buy a title in Scotland if you buy some land. But I don't know if it's legit or kind of like that name-your-own-constellation kits we saw at the bookstore one time.
Come on. You really think they could have bought their title and have been pretending this whole time? That is some serious commitment. Why would they lie about something like that, though?
It's a bit of a stretch, I know. I'm probably way off. I must be resenting them deep down if I'm cooking up crazy theories like this.
Yeah, try not to think about it anymore. It's not going to do you any good. It will just drive you crazier and crazier.
Yeah, my head is a pile of mush right now. I need to go to bed if I want to make it to work on time tomorrow. Maybe I won't take my makeup off tonight. If I sleep on my back, I can probably get up and go straight to work, right?
I should get to bed too. I'm tired from sitting around watching TV. I can only imagine how tired you must be.
Okay, Mama. Good night. I love you. Hey, babe. I was doing some deep cleaning today, and I was going through some papers in your office. And I found this old-looking piece of document with one of the older books. You know, the collection you said you got from your great-grandfather? Do you have any idea what this might be? It's barely legible.
Whoa, where did you find that? What are you doing snooping around my office, love?
I wasn't. I was cleaning it out. It's so dusty in there. I told you I was going to go in and clean today, Richard. What is this document? Is it important?
It's nothing. It's just rubbish. Probably some old certificate or deed or something like that in it. Nothing too important. I just kept it because it looked neat. You don't have to worry about it. If you could put it back where you found it, that would be just peachy, love.
A certificate? Or a deed?
Yeah, I'm sure that's all there is to it. No need to fret about it. Just put it back where you found it, and I'll come home to take another look.
Okay, babe. I'll set it on your desk so you don't forget. I wish I could decipher what it says. It looks important.
That's good, love. I will deal with it once I get home. And if you could, don't go through my stuff without asking me first. Yeah?
You're right. Sorry. Well. Which Which one of you proud descendants of a baron would like to explain these to me?
What is it?
What is it? Really? Sure, I will tell you what those are. The first one is an official document I found in Richard's office the other day, proving that you guys bought a noble title off some baron in the 1700s. Apparently, the economy was so awful that people did anything and sold anything to make ends meet. That poor baron family must have been desperate. But I bet, like a real nobility, they probably thought selling their title didn't mean they were losing their identity. I bet they had every intention of priding themselves as barons even without the official title. As for the other two documents, oh, you're all going to love this. I went ahead and applied to get a genealogically accurate ancestry map for you barons. And guess what I heard back? You guys were peasants. Pig feeding, chicken slaughtering, wheat harvesting peasants. If you have a long line of anything, it's just common British blood. You guys sure have been in England for as long as the British history itself.
What are you doing, Britt? What is all this? How did you get those documents?
I got them through reliable sources. Trust me, I wouldn't have confronted you with fakes. Maybe you should have done a better job of covering it up when I found the first document the other day. You got all flustered and started rambling, so I thought something was up. So I did a little digging, and one thing led to another. I found that you guys were originally named Miller. You know, like those who mill wheat. And in the early 1990s, which is freakishly recent if you think about it, your grandfather went before a judge and officially and legally changed his last name from Miller to Baron.
This is bollocks. So what if my ancestors bought the title? They must have bought it through proper channels, if they have a document stating the transfer. It doesn't make us any less of a baron bloodline.
Maybe so. Maybe, in a way, you have been a noble family once, by way of what could only be described as extortion. Maybe for a time being, your ancestors tried real hard to be worthy of their new title. But to look down on other people, judging them by their upbringing, you didn't have the right to do that. Even if you were a long line of barons and baronesses, who gave you the right to dismiss other families, let alone your daughter-in-laws? I've heard you mention countless times the importance of assigned gender roles because, back in the day, noble people adhered to them. Well, you know what else they adhered to? Human decency, generosity, and class.
Whoa, this is uncalled for, Britt. You have no idea what you're talking about. If we bought the title, then the title is now rightfully ours to claim.
Richard, why don't you sit this one out? I don't imagine you have anything of value to add to this discovery, seeing as how you were just a kid when your grandfather changed your surname. Besides, the way you enabled your mother probably had a hand in pushing Brittany to go digging into your past. I have heard about how you act all posh and gentlemanly around people, but as soon as the curtains close and there is no audience left but your wife and your mother, you become a lazy sloth. If you hadn't known about your family's secret, then you could have done something to make things better. But it looks like you knew all along, if not take it upon yourself to keep up the pretenses. And yet, you enabled your mother when she belittled my daughter, treated her like a maid, and said awful things, all in the name of proud family tradition.
No, you're absolutely right, Mrs. Butler. But all I'm saying is that, no matter our humble beginnings, there is no doubt in where we stand today, as a family.
He is right.
You are right, Richard dear. What does it matter how we started? We are doing well with what we were dealt. Isn't that enough?
If you say so. I am so happy for you that you got to pay your way up the social ladder. I can't believe there aren't more people out there who are doing that. It's so easy. Anyway, I am divorcing your peasant son, Mrs. Baron. Your Highness, Majesty.
What? Divorce? Britt, love, what are you on about? A divorce? You and Richard? How dare you say that lightly? Divorce isn't a matter to be taken lightly at all. You can't up and decide to leave a marriage behind. This isn't child's play.
I've already made up my mind. Aren't you happy that you won't have to suffer my poor, low-class existence? Besides, I don't think even butlers back in the day were allowed to mingle with lowly peasants. Why don't you run along and find a new daughter-in-law who is on your level? Maybe a butcher, or a carpenter, or a tailor. Wow, I've never noticed how many surnames there are that come from occupations.
All right, look, Britt, I think you are overreacting here. Take a deep breath and give yourself a minute to calm down. You know I have nothing but love for you, right? You do know that. We can get through this tiny hiccup.
Do you? Do you love me? Really? Then either you have no idea how to love another human being, or you have been lying to my face this whole time. You are all talk, no action. You lot wanted nothing but an easy, free servant who was willing to bend over backwards trying to be a good fit, in the shape of a wife and daughter-in-law. You are all sick. I sincerely hope I never have to lay eyes on any one of you ever again. I hope your nobility continues to treat you well. Who knows? Maybe Richard will score a real countess next. I hope he does. That way you guys can experience what it's like to be looked down upon for your family's social standing. Goodbye. My husband, now ex-husband, had always prided himself as coming from a long line of great nobility in England. As an American who grew up in the Midwest, I had little to no reason for doubting his claims. I would be lying if I said I didn't suspect anything, because there were times the barons didn't seem quite comfortable with their own skin. I simply chalked it up to them being stiff and proper. I had no reason to dig deeper. Until, that is, I found the document in his office. It was a certification stating the purchase of a baron and baroness title, dating back to the 1700s. When the economy got so bad, noble families would sell their title to the highest bidder and secure a lump sum of money to tide them over. Most of those people were, however, older couples whose children had all been married off to other noble families and had nothing much to lose. The barons really took their game of pretending to the next level, changing their surname to announce their standing like that, and hosting extravagant dinner parties to mimic what they thought was a noble tradition. I am glad I allowed myself to listen to my intuition. Otherwise, I would never have found out about their past. What's worse is that I would have been stuck with the awful family for longer than I deserved. Now, with the help of those documents that acted as irrefutable evidence of marriage by deception, I was able to be granted a divorce from a sympathetic judge. It didn't sound like I was her first fake nobility marriage case. People out there will do anything for a sense of importance. As for the barons, they are still keeping up the pretenses, believing they have every right to act noble and claim they are descendants of a baron. I don't see them changing their ways anytime soon. Whatever floats their boat, in my honest opinion. Or, as they might have said, whatever tickles their fancy. I have nothing left tying me to them in any way, shape, or form. I am now focusing on enjoying living back at home with my mom and being forced to watch this new comedy show she's discovered on Netflix every night before bed. I'm not going to lie. This is the most comfortable and relaxed I have ever been in 3 years. I won't have to worry about going to work on half an hour's sleep anymore, thanks to my mom's small, cozy dinners. Cheers for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.